Welcome to my channel. My name is Amit, and as you can tell, I got a hair transplant in Turkey. Now, I actually just want to kind of go through as much as I can to help others as well if they're deciding to get a transplant in Turkey or not. And I just want to go through the entire process of how it happened from start to finish. I'll probably go into more details in the next video, but for now, I just want to give you the gist of what I went through, my personal experience, and whether I was happy or not, and basically my honest review of my time in Turkey. So a little bit about me before we start. My backstory of losing hair, I started losing hair when I was 24 years old, when I really noticed it at my sister's wedding. Somebody actually pointed it out, and I didn't think much of it, but as the years went by, more and more hair started falling off, and I started to notice it more. And unfortunately, a lot of insecurities popped up as well, as I'm pretty sure everybody knows. It kept eating me up inside. As you can see from the images here and here, how bad my hair loss actually was after those 5 years. But I had my own solution that I was using hair fibers pretty daily actually, and with these fibers you can tell from here and here how much I was actually covering up on my hair, and it worked for me, and I was happy. But of course, with these hair fibers came limitations. I wasn't able to go into the water all the time. I wasn't able to stand out in the rain. I wasn't able to touch my hair as much as I wanted to, and these type of things play out over time. At the start it was fine, but eventually it was just very inconvenient, and putting it on every day I felt was not the best thing to do. So I decided to look into hair transplants. I watched a bunch of videos online and got people's opinions. I know friends who've done it before, and I decided to go to Turkey and do it. The clinic I went to was Vera Clinic in Turkey. If you want to see a very detailed way they do things, you can actually follow. Actually, go check out Amir's video. He's the one who I got the inspiration from to get this hair transplant done. Based off of that video, to be honest, I'll link it in the description below. But definitely check it out if you haven't, if you're also considering it. But again, his experience is very different compared to mine, based off of what I saw. So I just want to get into that. So the first thing that happens is the emails and the contacts with your consultant at Vera Clinic. Once you reach out to them, they'll assign you a consultant, and eventually you will have to be communicating with him the most. You'll send him photos of your hair loss, and they will come back to you with a very detailed description of how they would do your hair transplant. So mine, because my hair loss was so severe, mine was more of a hair restoration for the entire area, because from the top, middle, and the back, my hair was pretty much gone. And I feel like for me it was more intensive, and it definitely was recommended that I come back for a second session. I did not want to do a second session, but I'll get to that when later on. So after the communications and everything is agreed upon, you have to let them know the date that you want to fly down. Once you book your flights, or even a week before you book your flights, you have to let them know that these are your flight details, and they will arrange everything for you. One thing good about Vera Clinic, though, is that their customer service is great, their transportation is great, their hotel stays are great. Everything that they provided was amazing. I don't deny that they are one of the best. Maybe that's why they have that prestigious award of the best hair transplant clinic in Turkey. So that was also another reason why I was pretty happy with them. But as soon as I got to the clinic, that's where I kind of felt like I felt very out of place. When we first got to the clinic, the staff were very friendly, very, very nice. I was assigned a translator, as I'm sure not everybody speaks English there. But when I went to see the doctor, I felt like I didn't really get a chance to communicate with him as much as I would have wanted to. I did express my concerns, saying that I wanted the full thing covered because I don't want to come back for a second session, but they were insisting that I come back for a second session. And I didn't really appreciate that because I guess I would have if they would have given me a bigger reason to rather than just say you should come back for a second session. I wish they kind of explained to me why that was needed. In the end, I found out myself. I asked a couple of other people, and they extracted quite a bit of hair from the sides and put it on the top. But again, the back is kind of not complete yet, which is unfortunate. But it is what it is. I was all the way there already, and I wasn't going to back out because I wanted to get something done. I wanted to get some sort of progress for my hair. So I agreed to their what they suggested because obviously I felt like the doctors would know more than me. And when we went into the once everything was agreed upon, I went down to pay, and then immediately after that we went into a different room. They made me change, gave me some medicine, and they basically told me that, all right, we're gonna go shave your head now. So again, that was a big deal to me. Shaving my head was like the first time ever I've seen myself bald. So we went in, shaved the head off, and that was it. It happened so fast that they brought me into a different room and started taking photos of my head before and after. And I was like, wow, you guys need to, like, I felt like I was on a fast moving train that never stopped. I felt like I needed some time to process everything that was going on, but at the clinic, everything was moving so fast that I didn't have a chance to stop, think, or look around. And to my surprise, I found out that at VeriClinic they said that they do 15 to 18 patients a day, which was shocking to me because I didn't think that they would have that many patients per day. But when I went in, there were quite a lot of other people there who were also looking to get a hair transplant, and hats off to them for having that type of business. But based off of the video that I watched from Amir, it seemed as if there was more personal consultations, there was more personal touches to your hair transplant from a doctor rather than it being done by technicians. So after that, they moved me straight into the operation theater, put me flat down, and basically they started the procedure. Now, one thing to note, if you do go to VeriClinic, in the brochure or whatever you agreed upon, whatever they send you, they tell you that it will be needleless, painless anesthesia. That was not the case. They injected the back of my head. They told me that they were going to do that, and obviously at that point you can't really say much because you got to go with the flow. They injected my head, and I feel like not many people on YouTube talk about how painful the anesthesia needles actually are. They are dreadfully painful, and I, on a tolerance of scale of 10, I'd say like it was a 7 or 8 at least. I didn't expect that type of pain. It did last for a little bit, like maybe a minute or two, but still, it was not something I was prepared for. After that, the whole donor area was numb. They started extracting. All went well. All was fine. In midway, we had a break. As you can see from here, I look happy, but because I didn't feel any pain at that point. But they came back. They gave me a meal. After that, they put me back, laid me back down, and this time they injected my forehead with anesthesia. Again, the pain was too much, but I got through it, and they started putting the transplanted parts all over the top of my head. Now, after all of this, I think the total procedure took about 7 to 8 hours. I remember I started at 7:30 a.m. and I finished by 2:30 p.m. I think, or 3:30 p.m. And I was able to go back to. They bandaged me up. They gave me brief instructions on what to do, what not to do. And they gave us a bunch of medicines and antibiotics. I also signed up for this extra package, this fast regrowth package, where they do OxyCure therapy. I don't know how much that helps, but basically it sends you to a oxygen chamber where you inhale and exhale oxygen through a mask that helps the regrowth of your hair quicker. Again, I'm not too sure how useful it is, but based off of studies online, they say like it takes up to 7 sessions to actually make anything happen. We were given 2 sessions. One was in the evening on that day, on the same day, and one was the next morning as well. But sticking with the same day, when I got home back to my hotel room, I wasn't not in pain, but I was just so tired that I feel like when I tried to sleep, I didn't feel as uncomfortable as a lot of people say they are once they finish their surgery, because I passed out pretty easily, and yeah, I was still sleeping 45 degrees with my neck out with the neck pillow. It was definitely something to get used to. And yeah, so then the next day, same exact thing, they picked us up, basically took us into the clinic, and I was speaking to the translator most of the time after that. She explained to me that I have to moisturize my head and I have to shampoo it at the same time. So they did that first wash for me there and then they have also, of course, offered products that they offer to help regrowth. For example, there's some serum for the donor area, and then there's also vitamins and some spray to help. Again, I don't know how useful everything is. Like, they were offering me to have a 6 to 9 months supply. I do believe in all of it, but at the same time, I also barely had any hair, so I feel like I don't know how much it would have helped, but I basically bought a 2-month supply of everything just to try it out. Everything is also still available online. If I really wanted it more, I could always order it and bring it over. But they are not cheap. Just a heads up, they are not cheap products. I'll go through everything in a further video, but for now, this is kind of how it was done. Yeah, so after all of that, I was able to go home, and I basically am able to contact the medical consultant every day as much as I want to throughout this entire process. I was flying the next day back to my home in Singapore, and I was terrified, but they basically gave us reassurance that everything would be okay as long as we don't bump our heads into anything or just follow the regimen, that the instructions that they gave. So yeah, I mean, overall this whole experience, to be honest, was a little traumatizing because I went on my own and I didn't know what to expect in a foreign country, and the first few days were definitely tough being there in the hotel room all alone. If you were to do this, I would highly recommend you bring somebody just for that moral support. But also, again, at the end of the day, it is your choice. I just want to give as much information as possible throughout this whole procedure. So I'm going to keep trying to upload as much as I can every week just to kind of go through what's going on in my head. Oh, actually, I should probably show you what's going on in my head. So the hair transplant, as you can tell, has gone all over. Now, the problem is the back, which you will now see. As you can tell, the back is still pretty empty, which is why they recommend coming back for a second session. I think with my experience using my hair fibers, Kabuki, I'm okay to stick with that for a little bit. I'm not too sure if I want to do a second procedure, but we'll see how these grow out, and we'll take it from there. All right, I think I'm gonna wrap up. This video's gone on for too long. If you've stuck through to the end, thank you. I appreciate you listening, and yeah, I'll update accordingly and everything along the way as well. Thank you so much. Have a good one.